Hey everybody, I'm just going to do I'll try and keep this short video here for our management MBA540 course, the final project. So I'm going to review a little bit about the APA style, but also the final, the project for the course. So um, I'm going to bring it in here. So I emailed this to you. It's also in the course room. You have to do a 7 to 10 page research paper. The formatting, the 12-point font times Roman APA. So what I got here is got the cover page, introduction, the body of the paper, conclusion, and then an added extra is a paragraph or so on just lessons learned from the research. Okay, so what did you learn from it? So that's the short thing. Sources for your research: one is the textbook. And one other source. So you do the text and one other source that talks about business level strategy. So this here, right here, business level strategy. That's the pretty much the topic. And then your scenario is how businesses use different strategies to grow their business, and their level of success is affected by decisions they make. So what can you learn from research and management? So you got here, explore the websites of 3 different businesses, organizations, and also identify your own. Okay, it cannot be Starbucks or Krispy Kreme because that's covered in the text, and it should be a publicly traded company. Now the reason we put the public company in there so you have access to records of financials, the SEC filings, Form 10K. And somewhere down here in instructions, I put a little hint in there. A lot of information can be found in those filings. So, but you also need to find some, articles also. So depending on what you're doing, one thing you can do here. So let me just go to Domino's here, just because. All right, so we'll open up that. Uh, Okay, now, now if you do Domino's.com, you're going to find out you're going to end up where you order the pizza. Most corporations have 2 different sites. One for the business side. So like on here, when you look along here, you look, okay, there's investors. And if you want to find, like right there, SEC filings, you can also do things like a profile. You might be able to look up, some companies have different things set up, and it may give you a lot of your information that you're looking for. Like see your SEC filings, that'll take you there. And then there it is, 10K. So you can pull up, the 10K, and then you got different, and let me see here. You got different parts. So you can pull up the entire document, sub-documents. You can look for different parts in there. Some of this takes getting used to, but this is one way to get information. So another way is just you can Google, but also in our course room you have the where are we at here? Library resources. So that's another place to get the information. You got the ProQuest and Google Scholar. So, and then you also down here you got reference on the APA writing style. So, but for the project itself, so let me get back to the project. So you get into a website, you find some other sources. So what you do, your paper is going to discuss which type of business level strategy, and this is in the text, that each one pursues, how they differ, or if they're the same, similar. Talk about leadership, talk about segmentation of the market, how they determine customer base and retain customers. Are there challenges and practices influenced by economic change and globalization? One of the things about the world today is it's constantly changing. Over the last 20 years, things have changed a lot, the way businesses operate. Let me see here. So this part here, your discussion, these areas should cover the below listed points in your paper. So we got these points here to evaluate the industry, the opportunities. We got in here, use the Porter 5 or the SWOT analysis. You don't have to get all extravagant on it or anything like that, but just identify what you can find out. internal resources. And then the second part are fundamental questions, who to serve, what do we provide, how do we provide it. Now, all this is also straight out of the text. So you got the information in the text on what this actually means. All right, so what you're going to do is put this into a paper. All of you have been, I'm going to pull this up, all of you have been doing this now. This is your third, fourth, fifth quarter, depending on where you're at. So, I mean, the APA part, you should be getting familiar. Generally, you have the cover page, and then you go, don't worry about an abstract for this assignment. You don't have to worry about that. If you want to do it, that's good too, because this is a longer paper. An abstract just basically tells you what you're going to cover, and you can see examples of abstracts. But again, you don't have to do it for this one. And then you go into what's introduction. Now your introduction, you can put just the word introduction, or you can put a title in there. And so you got an opening paragraph that kind of previews what the paper is about. So in your case, you're going to be talking about 4 different companies. So in the introduction there, you would name those companies and and a quick brief thing of what you're finding out about it. As you're going through your document, you don't have to do every sentence, but at a minimum, every paragraph needs to have a reference. And this right here is how it should look. Some people require every sentence. Me working on my PhD for that work, every sentence has to have a reference. So everything you say, you have to have gotten it from somewhere. So, but anyway, so that's how you do it there. And okay, so you'd have your introduction, then you'd have maybe what we call the body of the paper. So that would be another centered here, right here, just like this is centered. Instead of left, it's centered. All right. So you'd have your introduction to the topic itself, and then you would go into, depending on how you're doing it, either subheadings or center headings. So this here, it's formatted to the left. So if you're going to talk about subtopics within your discussion, that's where you do them this way. If you're going to talk about something totally different, then you put the header in the middle. But if it's related to, if you're going to be talking about different aspects of one topic, then you can do these, what we call subheaders. So I hope that's not confusing you. If it is, you can look up, look it up on the OWL site, and it has it all in there. So, and so as you go through, you'd have different subheaders. So this is just an example of one way to do it. So when you get down to the, let me get down here, conclusion. So okay, so then you do a conclusion. That's generally 1 or 2 paragraphs, and it's a summary of what you already covered. Do not add new information. All right, this is not about you don't add anything new to it. This is reviewing what you already presented. All right, and again, you do your citations in there for stuff you're talking about. And then the last thing, okay, so for this paper, once you get the conclusion done, you're going to add what you learned, a lessons learned paragraph. So right here, centered lessons learned, and write a paragraph on what you learned from doing this research. And it's not necessarily what you learned about a particular company, about Sony or Netflix or Domino's. It's but how everything operates. That's kind of what we're getting at. Did you learn anything about how the business world operates, how management operates, how you're able to research things and figure out how to do things from different people and what they do? So, and then your last page is going to be your references, and this is what it should look like. And in your case, so for this, you're going to have probably a dozen references, because you're going to have your text and 1 source for a business level strategy, and then for each of the companies, you're going to have at least 2 references for each company. So that's 8, 9, 10. So right there. So you're going to have about a few in here like this. So if you're wondering how to like this right here, we call a hanging indent. What you do is you go into your paragraph formatting right there, and then you go halfway down here and see it says hanging right there. So it usually has none set in there. You want to click on hanging, and then you want to hit OK, and it will automatically indent that, like that. So that's how you do that. some of you had some issues on the seeing the feedback I've been sending you. So for example, I got this, I got these comments right here in this paper. You go up to review, you go and then drop right over here where it says all markup. Normally that will say original or no markup. See, and how that right panel disappeared. But as soon as you go over there and you click on all markup, and that will pull up any comments on that right side. So all of you should be able to see this if you got a current version of Word. And so that's where I put the feedback on the side. So okay, so that's pretty much trying to keep this. Okay, we're at 10 minutes, so just wanted to go over that with you. If you got any questions, let me know. But you probably need to get a head start on this because we're talking 10 pages. It's already in the middle of the first week, so you got 4 weeks to get it done. So so that should do it. So anyway, okay, I will leave it at that. Any questions, get in touch with me, and that'll do it. Take care, everybody.